This is a conference, the second annual conference of the City of Sanctuary movement. I think it's a wonderful occasion because a year ago we held our first conference, and at that event over 100 people came from 23 different cities, and they came basically to hear the story of Sheffield, which had been declared the first city of sanctuary in the UK. 12 months on, we are in a mood of celebration because there are now 11 cities around the country that have a City of Sanctuary working group, and the whole movement is spreading. And so today we expect around 100 people here. And we'll be able to hear stories from some of those working groups in places like Bradford, Oxford, Leicester, as well as Sheffield. So it's a much bigger movement, and that's fantastic.
My name is Melissa Day and I'm from Ipswich, town of Sanctuary. It all started back in November when I organised a charity event which was to raise awareness about people who have had to seek asylum in Britain. The event was a really big success, and since then I came across the City of Sanctuary idea, and I felt that it was something that was really, really needed in Ipswich, as many people said from doing the charity event they'd never come across something like that, and they felt it was very much needed to raise awareness in Ipswich.
In terms of culture, we had a very lovely experience over the last few months, around about November time, the end of last year. Thinking about, well, we're creating a culture of hospitality and welcome here. What is a culture? Well, one of the things a culture is, I suppose, is a demonstration of what you value. I mean, some people say that culture carries the values, don't they? That what we value is our culture. And how do you show what you value? Well, one of the ways that we show what we value is to give people things and to say and to appreciate what they've done. So we sent out asking for people to nominate others for awards. And we had two categories of City of Sanctuary awards. One was a category for people seeking sanctuary in Sheffield, somebody who's made a contribution to the life of the city. So I suppose in that we were very directly acknowledging the value of the contribution that people can make. They come here seeking sanctuary. And the second category of award was for people who have contributed to making Sheffield a city of sanctuary. And we sent out this call for awards among member organisations, and we had lots and lots of nominations. And the highlight of it all was that we held a party to celebrate 1 year of Sheffield being officially a city of sanctuary. This was 1 year from the time when the council had passed its motion to agree that this would be a city of sanctuary. Well, in the end we gave awards to everybody that was nominated because you couldn't choose between them, it was just so wonderful. And the level of celebration on that evening was heartwarming and fabulous. And in particular, it was just so wonderful to be able to sit there applauding and cheering someone who has contributed to making a city of sanctuary, or has contributed through seeking sanctuary to the life of this city, towards the quality of human relationships here. So I know many good things are celebrated in public life, but to celebrate this felt like a very positive step and a very concrete way of shifting culture. If we're talking about creating culture, we felt that this was a very solid way of doing it. Yes, I can't say enough about what a wonderful evening it was. So have a look at the photographs on the website to give a direct indication. It really was excellent. In the course of asking for these awards, for the nominations, we received a very interesting nomination from a community worker of a group of children on an estate in Sheffield who had befriended a Burmese family who had been placed next to them as new arrivals to the city. And I think it's right to say that in that area, this probably were the first Burmese people that had been seen and met excuse me, by people who'd lived there a long time. And they didn't have a very good welcome. They had a pretty poor beginning, unfortunately, in some ways. And these children befriended the children, these local children befriended the children of the Burmese family. They could speak no English. The English children could speak none of the Burmese family's language either. But through the language of children, if you like, just through playing, supporting, going and asking questions, sign language, they befriended them. And these children became the defenders and champions of this family and actually defended them against racism. They were not just mates, but they were very positive defenders and protectors for these people at a time when they needed it. This is one of the nominations that we received. So we gave them the special award in the special category, Young Person's Award, and then invited the Lord Mayor to give this award in a more public way. The Sheffield Lord Mayor, perhaps like other Lord Mayors, has a practice of inviting people to have tea with her. And it's one of the honours, it's like a civic honour. It's to have tea with the Lord Mayor. So who gets to have tea with the Lord Mayor? So again, this is like a sort of culture-setting thing. Who can have tea with the Lord Mayor? Well, this group of children, the Burmese and the English together, went and had tea with the Lord Mayor. She heard all about what they'd done. She asked them about their stories. They asked her. She showed them her objects that she has around her room. They had a great afternoon. She had a great afternoon. And we have lots of pictures for the press to show here's a civic honour. The civic honour goes to these children who have demonstrated their friendship and supported people who needed it. Specifically now to develop and support the local networks. We've learned through this process that we need to keep deepening the grassroots support and extending and supporting that process, and that's what the new worker will do. And we know it's there. And I suppose that's one of the great things about this movement, is that must be why it's succeeding, because it's touching something people actually want. They want a way to express that they want to feel welcoming. So we know that there's plenty there. So yes, we're learning more about deepening and developing that. It feels like we've had a sort of honeymoon period, and now we're in phase 2 of really paying attention. And the third point is about the value of the local authority taking this on as a formal policy. So after some lobbying and hard work, the local council, Sheffield City Council, agreed to pass a motion supporting Sheffield as a city of sanctuary, to say officially this is a city which will build a culture of hospitality and welcome. And then of course the first thing one says in response to that, after great, is and how are we going to make that real? What's the practical implication of that? So the symbolic implication I think is huge and shouldn't be overlooked. But one of the practical implications is actually to ask them to heighten the symbolic implication by, you know, how you arrive in a town and it says Sheffield twinned with Dudley-Dare. Well, we thought we could have Sheffield, City of Sanctuary. So this is symbolic, but also practical. But the practical use, in addition to that, in addition to the symbolic value and the culture-setting value of the resolution by the council, is it gives us a standard, if you like, to aspire to. And we've had a meeting of a number of member groups, as we do have a network of about 100 member groups now, I think. They can all attend. We've had a meeting of member groups to bring together people's priorities to lobby the council on. So lots of organisations who are working very actively with people seeking sanctuary in the city have an opportunity to put forward what will be their priorities, what can the council do, because as we all know, national law is one thing and the council can't necessarily affect that, but they do have lots of areas in which they can have impact and change things. So through that, we've developed some concrete proposals based on scope to put to the council, and we can say, look, we're going to be a city of sanctuary, if you agree with that, you say so. Now here's some practical ways we can make that happen. So we can kind of feed them with ideas. So it seems to be very valuable to have had the commitment from them. It's like an opening, a doorway to fit those things in.